everybody, welcome back. It's a brand new day on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So we are in the middle of case number 4, the Turnabout Goodbyes. It is now the beginning of day 3 trial. We are actually the defense lawyer for none other than Miles Edgeworth. So we're here to prove that he is innocent. Let's go. We are the best lawyer ever. December 27th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Also, the other prosecutor's really scary. Wizzy, hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Apparently the prosecution is also ready. Who is the judge here anyway? Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well, so no opening statements. So... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Do I actually have to find a fault in 3 minutes? Do I lose in 3 minutes if I don't, like, find something right now? You think I give a shit? Of course I'm gonna save scum. Right now. Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. Are you sure about that? Should we set a timer for 3 minutes? Order, order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Bah, must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Right. I call my witness, my decisive witness, to the stand. It's that mysterious boat shop owner. Oh, we got Mr. Crazy here. Witness, state your profession. Are those snot bubbles that are popping, or does he have bubblegum in his mouth? I am the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yup, I was. This guy's totally sus. He knows about the DL6 incident. Does that mean he was there? Was he there that night? So let's find out. Yep, I was. Please testify. Wait a second. We still haven't heard who this old guy is. Wait a minute. The witness hasn't stated his name yet. Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah! I have predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Well, guess what, Mr. Von Karma? This will be the first case that you lose because you're being an asshole, and I will not allow that in this courtroom, okay? Yeah, right. The witness will state his name. Is it gonna be familiar to the DL6 incident? Well, I'm not really sure. Yep. You don't know your own name, sir? What the fuck? What do you mean? My memory. Your Honor, the witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. Ergo, he cannot recall his own name. He can't recall, you say? Yes, but the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we, witness? We have to know his name. The prosecutor is an ass. Objection, absolutely. The night of the murder. It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yup. I was in the restaurant where I, rent boats, as usual. Then I heard a bang. Yup. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. Very well. I'd like to begin the cross-examination. Bro. Bro, dude! Do you not believe in, like, a fair trial? Because this is not a fair trial if you're gonna keep objecting to this kind of stuff. I'm calling shenanigans, bro. You shut the f*** up, bro, and let me do my job as a defense attorney. Wouldn't it feel better to win this case by being a fair prosecutor? Or do you just want to cheat to try and get ahead? Do you feel proud of yourself, Mr. Von Karma, for being an asshole and cheating to get your way? You don't want a fair trial? Because you know if it's a fair trial, you're going to lose. That's why you always have to cheat. That's why you have never lost a case. Never lost a case in 40 years because you're a cheating cheater.
Objection.
Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict, now. Mr. Wright? What are you saying? Of course I'll cross-examine the witness. Very well, you may begin. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed. I see. Well then, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine the witness. Wow, what a dick. Yes, heart attack, damn, he's still alive. That sucks. So, like, if the prosecutor dies in the middle of a trial, does that mean that the defense wins? Because I'll take forfeit by death. I mean, that's fine. The night of the murder. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna save over this. It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight, yup. Pressing doesn't count against me. Just after midnight, you say? Yep, just around then. Are you sure? Why is the guy still running a boat rental shop after midnight on Christmas Eve? That's my question. There's something very sus about this. Pretty sure. Yep. When I talked to you yesterday, you were rather vague about the time. I'm surprised you seem so sure about it today. I asked him and he remembered. Isn't that right? Don't glare at me like that. I remembered it clearly. I did. Yup. You see, continue. How can you rely on this guy being a witness when he can't remember his own name? How can you possibly regard anything he says as totally the truth? I was in the restaurant, where I rent boats, as usual. Is there anyone who can verify that? Well, I guess Polly could. That's not good enough for a court of law. It's a freaking parrot. It means he can't object. That's why I suggested you shoot him. Mr. Wright, exactly what's not good enough? Your Honor, this Polly is a parrot. A parrot? Don't be so hard on the girl, Keithy boy. Keith? The prosecution concedes that we cannot prove the witness was in the shop. Witness, please continue. Then I heard a bang. Yup. And where did the bang seem to come from? From the lake, I figure. Are you certain? Yup. Good. Continue. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just a-floating on the lake. Was there someone in the boat? It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly. But I figured there was 2 men out there. Yup. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yeah, at the time, that is. At the time? I feel like that should be something I should present. I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Feel like doesn't gonna come in handy at some point. I haven't looked at this yet. So is that Edgeworth's father? It must be. Why the hell does this dude know about the DL6 incident? That's my question. 12/28/2001. Because this game came out in 2001, didn't it? Air in elevator was oxygen depleted at the time of incident. No clues found on the scene. Victim data: Gregory Edgeworth, age 35, defense attorney, trapped in elevator, returning from a lost trial with son. Miles Edgeworth, age 9. 1 bullet found in heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Yanni Yogi, court bailiff, trapped in elevator with the Edgeworths. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. After his arrest, fiancée Polly Jenkins committed suicide. Oh, wait, what? That's different. I didn't read that last part, or maybe I didn't remember it. How much you want to bet that the boat rental guy that we're talking to right now is actually Yanni Yogi? How much you want to bet that? 15 years ago, 37. Which would make him 52 now? Does that old man look like about 52 years old? I can't look at anything else though, can I? Memory loss! Oh no, it's him. I bet it's him. Apparently he named his parrot after his dead wife. Wait, so hold on. No, don't present it. Just check it. Suspect is the court bailiff. Trapped in elevator with the Edgeworths. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. Fiancée Polly Jenkins committed suicide. So he lost his memory. That's super sad. That is pretty sad. Answer to the name Polly. I guess we just held on to this for whatever reason. Her 2 sounds like a gunshot. The thing is, like, if this is the same photograph from before, but it's been blown up to this size. Because we didn't see a muzzle flash in the old photo. And in the zoomed one, suddenly there's a muzzle flash. That doesn't make any sense. Sometime on the 24th or 20th, shot from approximately 1 meter away. I looked at the boat, I saw a lake just floating on the lake. I don't have a reason, I just like the burb. Can we inspect Polly's picture? Because the thing is, right? Was there someone in the boat? Pretty far out there, I couldn't see clearly. But I figured there was 2 men in the boat. Yup. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yup. At the time, that is. Couldn't see them at the time. That might be something important. Should I press? Then I heard another bang. So you heard 2 gunshots total? Yep. That's what Lotta said in her testimony yesterday. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore, and a man walks by my window. By your window? Yep, by my window, right outside the window of my little shack. Someone was banging on the lake? Interesting. And you couldn't see the man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but he was right there in front of me. I saw him. This is a rather important detail. Please add it to your testimony. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was his defendant. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Are you sure? Uh-oh. The music went silent. Uh-oh. Dad! Wait, what? Oh, yeah, Keith. Dead certain, Keith. He said I can't believe he's dead, as he was walking by, too. Witness, are you sure that was the person you saw was Mr. Miles Edgeworth? The first time Phoenix has specifically said so you heard two shots gives us an opening. This is Phoenix's dad? The thing is, like, the old man is, like, senile, and he thinks that Phoenix Wright is his son, named Keith, and also thinks that Maya is, what was the daughter's name? I don't remember. The old man is senile, he can't remember... Yeah, hold on, that should come into play. If he can't remember his own name, but he thinks that I am his son, he can't remember his own son? That seems kind of sad, doesn't it? Witness, are you sure that the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him, that Edgeworth boy. Uh-oh. This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Von Karma. He lured me into cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Uh-oh. Nick, I don't like the way things are going here. Oh, is she allowed back in the courtroom now? Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I better act quick or this trial is going to be over. I feel like if I say wait and see what happens, then, like, I'm just gonna lose. Why didn't we find his son? Well, he's dead. Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun. Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun? And the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped his prints after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. Everything in this witness's testimony is true. The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Your Honor, this witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his word is all we have. If he were telling a lie... Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently, you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof. Ugh. Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure? To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Please. Can you hear me, sis? Please. We need your help. Nick needs you. I think this is supposed to happen. 3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. I wonder if I were to go through this trial faster, if the numbers would actually change. We need your cleavage, Mia. The power of boobs, apparently. See, what I think, because Mia is, like, known for being very smart, is that this is where the knowledge is stored. Her law knowledge is stored in the chest area, somewhere around there. This must be a new record. Enough. The witness may leave the stand. No! Uh-oh. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial. Nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. What? No. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. What? The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Dishonor on your whole family.
There's no way.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not done here. Wait. I'm like, this is supposed to happen, right? Me. Huh? What? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen, you gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday. I have come to testify. But today I remembered it. Remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too. Order. What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for an adjournment. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. So you say you heard a gunshot? Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience, listening to the testimony. Then I realized something he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. Everyone's calling him Edgy. Former murder suspect, Seymour Butts. His name is Larry Butts, but close enough. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Order, order. Well, this is the first time something has happened like this in my court. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. The trial is over. Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this. She's right. If only it wasn't Larry. He could make things even worse. Mr. Edgeworth just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse. You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. Thank you, Mr. Judge. You know how to run a fair trial better than Mr. Von Karma. He's about to get his karma for 40 years of lying to the judge. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. Hell yeah, brother. Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now. What? The court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. I didn't finish pressing every statement that the old man said. The fact that he can't remember his own name and he thinks that I am his son, that should be kind of sus, that maybe he's not in the right mind to properly give a to properly testify. But I feel like this is supposed to happen as well. December 27th, 10:28 a.m. Whew! That was too close. I think we should save over this just a little bit. Might be a good idea. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Mr. Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there. Larry was at the lake that night? Yes. He said he went looking for the steel samurai balloon that flew into the lake. Exactly, I remember that. I remember us I remember him telling us that. Oh, right. And he found the balloon and the air tank that night. Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Huh? You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. Larry was also in a boat? Yeah, apparently. So there should have been 2 boats missing. Mr. Edgeworth? There's something I've been meaning to ask you. What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. Then I saw the pistol lying on the floor of the boat in front of me. I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. I see. Right? Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't even talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right? That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll muck this one for all it's worth. Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything's on Larry now. Well, this ought to be interesting. Courtroom number 3. It's like a nuclear bomb to a man like Von Karma. He doesn't know how to handle something unexpected, does he? Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. I don't know, maybe this will go into a day 3 trial. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Witness testimony. That night, I was out on a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back into the rental shop dock. Then just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony, even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. We've come this far. There's no way out. No way to go but forward, Nick. This ought to be interesting. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? There were so many things I don't know where to begin. Well, okay, first of all, what time was it? It was after 11 when I went out onto the boat. Wait a minute. But didn't Lotta Hart give us a photo at like 11:10 of just a completely empty lake? That doesn't make any sense. It was after 11 when I went out in the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night. So I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you out on the boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something, and I found it. Shows an empty lake taken at 11:50. Okay. So how long was he out on the boat for? That's the real question. Two sounds like gunshots just after midnight. So both of those shots ring out after midnight. So maybe if Larry heard a shot before midnight, then it wasn't Lotta's deposition. Like, there's some holes here. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it that you were looking for? What the witness said was what the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. When? What time? Well, let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around midnight. Yep.
That's our secret word of the day!
You found the secret word, Wizzy. Congrats. It's not really all that secret. Oh god, no. You're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. Just as I was thinking I was going home, but the thing is right. So when did you slip back? Shows an empty lake taken automatically at 11:50. So he must not have been out on the lake for an hour. If he was out there for more than an hour, then there should have been a boat that showed up here. But the thing is, right, that if this camera automatically took a photo, then there was a loud bang sound. Yeah. I kind of want to press a little more, but I'm thinking of presenting this. But I'm just afraid it's not going to be relevant because this game doesn't make any sense. I have very sound logic for the evidence that I want to present, and it's like, nope, there's no correlation. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This game doesn't make any sense sometimes. I don't know if I should present this right now or if I should press a little more. Just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. What time was that? Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order! Order! Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was a real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should start working on the contradictions. Sorry, I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. So should I present the empty lake? So this one, I'm thinking of presenting the empty lake photo. Nope, apparently not. I mean, the empty lake photo has to be relevant. We need to present at the right time. I think so. Didn't see a boat. So maybe now? No? What do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow? I have the right evidence. I feel like I have the right line of thinking. I'm just presenting it the wrong statement or something? I didn't see a boat. Maybe I need to present different evidence. I heard 2 sounds like gunshots just after midnight. So maybe it's the gun. It says if it was fired 3 times. Well, this isn't going great, is it? After I heard that single gunshot, I went home. Cause like I have evidence, but like nothing matches. Question about the gameplay. Cause I can tell when I do something wrong. Cause it's always the same statement of like, what do you think of this statement or something? Sounds 2 sounds like midnight. Here we go. That's the right thing. Yeah, there were two sounds coming from Lotta. Wait a second, Larry. What? You only heard 1 bang. You're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Larry, that's not how this works. Mr. Butts. What? You only heard 1 gunshot? Are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. Bro! Not sure? How could you not be sure? Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude. With my headphones. What? Order, and stop that booing. Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones? Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? No one listens to the radio. That's very sus. He's the murderer. Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony? Continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include the details like your radio. Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there were any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. Oh boy. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? Didn't he say that he was trying to, like, quietly return his boat? I don't think he wanted people to know that he was on the lake. True believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What you heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. Can't believe I'm continuing the charade. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all request show on the radio, see? Should I be pressing? That's why I was listening to an all request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud. Real booming loud? I thought he was trying to be quiet on the lake, though. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on? Yup. Oh, well there we go. Headphones. So not everyone could hear it. I wouldn't think that you could hear anything going on outside at all. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. Nah, I can't prove it. But I remember that moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. What did she say? Or he? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what the radio DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask, Fine, very well. Mr. Butt, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, hey, it's almost Christmas, I heard the gunshot. Almost Christmas! See, that's a big deal, okay? That is a big-ass deal. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. Oh, it does help. I just wanted to press first. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there is one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get the bottom of what happened. It's almost Christmas. Shows an empty lake. Come on! How is that wrong? What do you mean? What do you mean? There's nothing contradictory! It was before midnight, and he was on a boat. Before midnight, the lake is empty. What are you talking about? How is that wrong? I don't understand this game. Whoops, that didn't go so well. It's almost Christmas. I heard the gunshot. Let's present this one then. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas, when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But he should have heard that gunshot after midnight. This photograph is irrefutable proof of this fact. Let's see what the time was on the photo taken when the gun triggered Miss Hart's camera. 15 minutes after midnight on Christmas Day. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order, order. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him, suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard? Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim? Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. The empty lake photo! Look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Every time someone says that statement, I'm gonna play the song. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Look at this graph! Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor? The real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why the photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor? This photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that that is the case. Then, where does that leave us? Ms. Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25 minutes pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There was no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. I mean, it has to be the gun, right? Because it was fired 3 times. Here goes nothing! I'm gonna have to start over if I don't get this presented right now. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. I'd die on this stupid hill with a gun. Order, order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots, separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it! I have it! Huh? Remember the case with the steel samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm going to run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor, Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on the lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been a suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of shooting. This timestamp on the photo says 15, but Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men on the boat are. But who would the murderer be? I feel like the old man is sus. We don't know his name, but I have a feeling that it has to be the dude that was at the trial 15 years ago. I'm trying to go over every option. The murderer and Hammond. Edgeworth and the murderer. Or Edgeworth and Hammond. Does that old man have a motive? He does, right? We don't know who the old man is. He hasn't said his name. He claims that he can't remember his own name. Like, he's clearly senile, right? If we assume he's a security guard. So I feel like I should go over this again. Yanni Yogi, age 37. At the time, court bailiff trapped in an elevator with the Edgeworths. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. After his arrest, fiancée Polly Jenkins committed suicide. I have a feeling that the security guard bailiff has to be the old man. 15 years ago. Like, it's too convenient, you know what I mean? I got him confused. I thought there was another man. Yanni Yogi was a suspect. Because was there a trial for Gregory Edgeworth's murder? Because I think that was the original case that they were talking about, right? Because the victim in our current case was the defendant for the suspect, and the defense won. So the suspect, who is suspected of killing Gregory Edgeworth, didn't get convicted. Because we're thinking like prosecutor here, we can see where the motive comes in, because Hammond was a defense lawyer for the suspect that may or may not have killed Edgeworth's father. So 15 years later, Edgeworth wants to get revenge on the man who defended his father's murderer. So there's your motive. But then there's also the matter of the statute of limitations wears off, like, I think the next day or something. So whoever actually committed the murder, they would be able to get away scot-free by tomorrow, because 15 years have passed. The statute of limitations has lapsed at that point. So Edgeworth was trying to get the truth out about who his father's murderer was before the statute of limitations lapsed. This is confusing. Something about like, I can finally get my revenge or something like that. But the thing is, right, Edgeworth hasn't stated who was on the boat with him, did he? So Edgeworth said he was on the boat, but did he say who was on the boat with him? Because I don't remember Edgeworth saying that. I wonder if the original defense layer knew something and wanted to meet with Edgy or something. Yeah, he's the worst client ever. He literally wouldn't tell us what happened, lol. Because Edgeworth didn't want us to know about the DL6 incident. He's not stating everything here. He's not telling us everything. If someone else murdered Hammond, I feel like Edgeworth was one of the people. Edgeworth and the murderer, perhaps. Who is the murderer? Because did they state where they found Hammond's body? Was he in the middle of the lake, or was he like off to the edge of the lake? I just don't want to be wrong here. Like, I want to think this over. Because like if I get it wrong, I can just, you know, go back and pick something else and then get it right. And then the trial will continue. But I want to get it right the first time, you know what I mean? This is why I'm thinking about this so hard. Like, there's not a big penalty if I get it wrong, because I'll just go back to this point and then pick a different answer. I want to feel like there's actual real stakes here. Explain who the two men on the boat are, because that's never been made entirely clear. There's 3 people involved here. Edgy and the murderer can't explain why. I found his body accidentally, says it was by the shore to me, but this is me using real-world logic, and there's no such thing in this. This game doesn't follow real logic. I've used real logic, and my logic was wrong. Because if Edgeworth was on the boat, but it was Edgeworth and Hammond is the victim here, which makes me think that if I were to pick Edgeworth and Hammond, then that would be like, oh, so you admit that Edgeworth was on the boat with Hammond. But I'm thinking maybe it was Edgeworth and the murderer. Like, if Hammond was already killed before? So who was the murderer? That's the real question. Yeah, so if Hammond was already dead before Christmas Eve, then it couldn't have been Hammond. But what happened to the murderer then? Maybe the murderer shot a bullet, deliberately missed, and then fell into the lake to look like it was... Because maybe the murderer was on the boat with Edgeworth, shot the bullet like in Edgeworth's direction, but deliberately missed, and then fell into the lake to make it look like Edgeworth was the one who killed Hammond. So the murderer killed Hammond, and then tried to pin it on Edgeworth by falling into the lake. Because it's pretty unclear what's happening in this photo, so we can't see for sure. But the fact that Edgeworth hasn't mentioned who was on the boat with them is also kind of a concern. Do you think Edgeworth would have told us, hey, who was on the boat with you? Person in the photo firing the gun is the murderer. That's what I'm thinking. I've gone over every option. Am I gonna be wrong? Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Mr. Edgeworth. Why do I keep saying Mr. Edgeworth? What? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Wright. No, it's not Lotta. There's no way it's Lotta Hart. Well, this is interesting. Do we want to deliberate for 90 seconds? That sounds good. The murderer's name. Because maybe it was the court bailiff. Hold on. Can we go over this again? Yanni Yogi, suspect. Court bailiff, trapped in an elevator with the Edgeworths. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. I feel like Yanni Yogi is the boat rental guy. I feel like it's the same guy. It's too obvious. And the fact that he named his parrot after his, like, late fiance. Like, it's definitely the same dude. But was Yanni Yogi the murderer just now? Is the real question. It was Ahimaro. Hammond called him to the lake. is super scared of loud noises, so the gunshot may have dazed and disoriented him. Possibly. Couldn't possibly mistake Lockhart for Hammond. Exactly. She looked like a man. Actually, this is why Von Karma kept him from saying the name, No Shot. Von Karma knows it's him. Say it was Von Karma? I don't have that option. Say it was Butt Karma? Thank you, Buttspot. That is the best option, I think, actually. Definitely Butt Karma. Okay. So we don't actually know the name of the murderer. That's kind of the whole point, isn't it? The murderer's name. I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out onto the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of this boat crime was not on a boat? Well then, where did the murder take place? Show the judge where the murder really took place. Maybe it was by the boathouse or something. But if I'm wrong... The thing is, if Larry was over here by this place... See, this doesn't make sense. So, if the murder happened at 11:50, and Larry was still on his boat when a shot took place... But maybe Larry still wasn't on the boat when the shot rang out. But the thing is, like, this was pretty close. Wasn't on his boat at 11:50, empty picture. Because that's what I'm thinking, like... Because Larry doesn't know exactly how long he was on the lake for. But it must have been less than an hour, because at 11:50 he wasn't on his boat. Maybe it did take place over here. Because if there was a gunshot at 11:50, and the camera took a photo of something empty... There's also this empty section of beach all the way over here. Because you think that maybe if Larry Butts was still here at the time, he would have been able to, like, look over here. Unless that's not actually how it looks. Inside the boat shop. Maybe, possibly. Oh, that's right. Hold on. And the fact that the parrot knows the phrase, remember the DL6 incident. So maybe the murderer... and Hammond were both inside of the boathouse in front of Polly, who repeated one of the men say that phrase. The parrot heard one of them say it. Exactly. I'm thinking the boathouse. Here, of course, the boat shop, where he lives. That way, he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. And just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. We got him. Are we going to call the parrot to testify? That would be hilarious. I figured it out. It was Polly. Polly was the murderer. That makes so much sense. I love the bad RPG animation of the boat. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. Became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat? Mr. Wright? It was the boat shop caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He missed on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness. Ooh, this is interesting. Should be okay if I save over this, right? The first shot missed. He wasn't trying to hit anybody. He wanted to create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff? Uh-oh. Bring out the witness from before. Oh, shit! The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Oh, no. Sudden death. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. He does not look happy. He never looks happy. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. I think that might be important, Edgeworth. Don't be withholding evidence here. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Oh no!
Mr. Edgeworth, have you ever been a Pokemon?
Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department to utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. Get wrecked. I think it was the dude. I think it was the bailiff security guard person from 15 years ago that was in the elevator with them. Memory loss due to oxygen deprivation. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry. But I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right? There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. Oh, is it about the earthquake? And how he's scared of earthquakes and he curls up into a fetal position ball when an earthquake happens? Just like what happened at the detention center? You were sucking your thumb and everything. You look pathetic, Edgeworth. You're a pathetic little baby scared of the little earthquake.
Need
sorry,
to
that
start
was very
breeding
mean.
the judge with more money.
That was very mean of me. I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean any of that. A memory of a crime that I committed. Whoa, that's different. What? A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. What? Edgeworth, what are you talking about, dude? Don't leave us on the cliffhanger. What? Well, this just got crazy, dude. Day 3 investigation. Need to start bribing the judge with more money. That might be what needs to happen. This is crazy. We will take a look at the investigation and what the hell Miles was talking about. You made him cry. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break. So I'll see you all in just a little bit.
NANI?
Nani? See you soon.